Nasty Echo, please help us out. You know what to do down below. And let's keep going. Yeah, so obviously you guys agree with us that Rob Gronkowski. Oh, William, someone says, don't forget Scotty Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Could be the number 3, right?
Number 1 in somebody's, someone's mind.
Some Buccaneers' minds, he's number 1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's Michael Thomas saying those things. Awesome, good, fear us. We're going to be there, right in your face, hopefully even week 1. But even though, with that mentality, they're scared of Gronkowski, use him as a decoy. We've been saying that. Use OJ. OJ learned from Gronkowski in these special practices you're having. And learn the methods he uses and ways to use his big body to block himself off to make a catch. Because he's so much more athletic than Gronk, I think. Just timing-wise, and he needs to get his confidence up to what Gronkowski is. But, I mean, either way, we're just loaded. I mean, that's the plain and simple answer. Any other takes you want to say on that, or let's move on?
I'm just praying every day we can see it live.
Actually,
that's what yeah, exactly. So, no, I mean it's a good roster that we have put together. I think the 22 starters are really strong. We get some concerns as far as depth goes, but I think that's for every team. Every team has certain depth issues that they have to deal with, and there's still roster moves to be made as the season gets closer. So we'll see what they do in that standpoint. But yeah, receiving threats, I think we got them everywhere. There's a lot of different ways we can attack a defense, which is what you want. So yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of formations and versatility packages that they can put into play that can make us a strength and really put it onto the defense.
Now, there was a couple questions before I go on to the next subject. So John Doe said, after this season, who do they pay, Evans or Godwin? I believe Evans is locked up. Godwin's the only one that's locked up. One is getting big bucks.
Yeah, Evans is locked up long term, and I think Godwin is definitely going to get re-signed. I believe they're going to find a way to get him his contract. But again, they're going to have more money coming up this next season because certain guys are going to be probably let go, and they'll have certain availability to make some moves.
Yeah, and he says Gronk looks to be in amazing shape. I mean, I think doesn't the cap go up again next year? And then
it's going to go up, and there's going to be certain guys that are just not brought back because of contracts that are ending, and also probably some restructures that are going to take place as well.
Yeah, because Gronk's $10 million will be off the books, and if he wants to sign back, I guarantee he signs back for less. If he does, I mean, to be honest, he may only play this one season.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So $10 more million off the books.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there's so much depth in that tight end room. My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There's one other question here. Can OJ be a decoy based on last year's tape? Teams kind of stopped respecting him due to some drops.
Well, I think it's going to be the opposite. And I guess this is what he probably meant. I think OJ is going to be targeted more because I think he's going to be isolated where he can take advantage of certain things because of Rob Gronkowski on the other side. You also have Cameron Brate. So I think those guys are going to open him up even more. And he's going to have ability to play with a quarterback that understands how to get him the football. And I think it'll be good for OJ.
Absolutely. Timing, not having to wait. I mean, there's times I saw OJ Howard run a route that was something like Adam Humphries would run. Like a little slot receiver would run. Like a flat, turn around, fake one way, go the other. That's like a slot, like almost like a dig route kind of. Like it was just, how? But let's keep going on. Actually, let's go on to this next question. That'll kind of expand us to the following. Do the Bucs have one of the NFL's most complete rosters? What is your take on that?
No, that's a good point to bring up. I would say as far as the 22 starters, I think they're pretty well set. I like what they have there. But when you get into certain areas, there is some depth concerns. Obviously, you look at the running back position. I think some guys have to step up there. You look at the offensive tackle position. I think it's still a little weak as far as your backups. Then you go into the defense. I think you look at your edge rushers. You could use another one, to put behind JPP and Shaq Barrett. And then also, linebacking core, a little suspect there once you get behind, certain guys. Obviously, nose tackle. I forgot to mention that because of Vita Vea. If he goes down, that kind of hurts you. So, yeah. But as far as overall roster comparing to other teams, I think they are one of the better rosters in the league. We're just going to have to wait and see how it all comes together, and hopefully they can, put together a strong season and finally be that contender that we're hoping for.
Yeah, and touching on things you said, defensive tackle behind
Mm-hmm.
Vivea and Sue, I think is a monster hole. You and I have been pressing this for
Mm-hmm.
a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I still haven't really addressed it. I mean, Khalil Davis, okay, he's quicker. He's more of like a nacho type player. I don't see that as if Vita Vea goes down, Sue can't just immediately slide in and then someone slides. Golston can't really just do the same things.
Right.
So, I mean,
a different type of player.
I mean, Golston's good for playing end 5 technique and in coming into 3 tech. But I don't see him being a Vita Vea. I don't see him being an Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good at run stopping at times, but we haven't really seen him with a full workload. I'm not going to say he can't do it, but I'm not going to say he's to the caliber of player of Vita Vea. Let's put it that way.
Right.
So it's a huge drop off after him. So that's my biggest weakness. Middle linebacker, yeah, we're loaded. There's areas where we have strength. O-line, yes, like you mentioned. Tristan Wirfs starting as a right tackle. We don't even know if he's going to be able to start. Right? So there's question marks around the team, but there's also a lot of depth in other areas. So that's why we hope we play to our strengths. I mean, you're loaded at safety if Justin Evans can come back. You're just defense besides defensive tackle and proven edge rushers besides JPP and Shaq. Because if one of them goes down, they can start keying in on Vita Vea, start keying in on Shaq or JPP, whoever doesn't go down.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, depth, you need it. I mean, but then again, something I wanted to talk about, Cousin Daniels and Quentin Bell, can they make something of themselves? Hopefully. But I'll shut up and stop talking.
Yeah, no, you're good. And I was going to say, obviously backup quarterback, obviously if Tom Brady goes down, then pretty much the season's over. I mean, you can say that for a lot of teams in the league as far as quarterback goes. So, yeah, I mean, but overall, like I said, the roster I think is pretty strong comparing. I would say it's stronger, in comparison than what it has been, obviously in the past.
Right.
And then you look at the division, I think we're closer to the Saints than we were, say this time last year. So I think in that way we're in a good deal or a good position, I should say.
Good deal.
Yeah, good deal and position.
Yeah, so also guys, I mean, if you can't reach us on Twitter, you can always reach us in the community section and on our page on YouTube. So let's go over there real quick before we kind of go on to something else. Let's go check out what the question was in there. I asked a poll, any questions? So I'm kind of putting out here for the first time. Edward Fernandez says, how many Bucs are making it to the Pro Bowl?
That's a good question. Yeah. And thank you, Edward. I'm gonna say probably like 3 to 5. I'll go with 5. I'll say Tom. Yeah, I know that's a lot. That's probably too much.
I was gonna say that was a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead with your point. I'll tell you why I think differently.
I mean, I think Levante David is finally going to make it. I think he'll be there. I think Mike Evans has a good chance of being on the team. Obviously Gronkowski, just because of the fame that he has, and then I would say
the fame.
Tom Brady, I think will make it. So how many is that? I think I got, what is that, 4 or 3? Let's see. Tom Brady, Gronk, Mike Evans, Levante. So that's 4. And then for 5, I'd probably say Shaq Barrett again. I think he'll make it.
So I'm of the mind of this. I think it's going to be a lot more than 3 to 5, based on a winning
prime
record.
Time.
No,
yeah.
Prime time and winning record.
Right.
If you win, you're gonna look at the Ravens. They had their whole damn team go.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So
yeah, didn't they have like 10 or something like that? It was crazy.
I mean, the Rams the year before that, I think. I mean, if you're winning, you're going to get guys on there, and I think we're going to be at least 11-5, 12-4. I think that's going to be between those two.
Okay.
11-5 probably. Tom Brady's making it based on his name. Shaq Barrett's going to make it because he's going to get at least 10 sacks in prime time. JPP is going to finally make it again. Name. Gronkowski probably will make it. Name. That's like 4 guys right there.
Right.
Vita Vea, I think, will get notoriety and finally talked about. Like how people get pissed that Ndamukong Suh gets his name. It's just a big name. Here's a top 5 pick. Vita Vea will probably get his name called a lot more because he's so damn big and he just takes up space. And announcers will like to talk about how he's 350 pounds. He's stopping the run and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Maybe one of our corners get in there because our defense will be looking good because of our pass rush. And we may get a guy that gets 6 to 8 picks. You never know. Right. I mean, hell, Sean Murphy-Bunting may play that nickel corner nasty and get 2 pick sixes. I mean, that's him in there. I mean, and then Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, they're going to make it. They're going to get other 1,000-yard season unless they get hurt. But so it just starts adding up. I think it's more like 5 to 7.
Okay.
If you start winning. 3, I think, is like literally if we go 7 to 9, it's 3.
Yeah.
Just based on our names. I think if we win 11-5, 12-4, make the playoffs, bare minimum 5 to 7, if not more. And that's just my take.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Let's see what people in the chat were talking about this. If Gronk gets 55 catches and 5 touchdowns, he is the comeback player of the year. He's got it as compared to 0.
Yeah.
From 0 to that, hell yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Then TV Teams 4 says you should have a cross pod with Loose Cannons podcast. I think that would be fire. Hey, I mean, we got to talk to them. I haven't really talked to Loose Cannons podcast.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that.
Right? I'd be glad to. But I think those cornerbacks, they're going to be big names one day. Yeah, I mean, everyone loves Jamel Dean. Everyone. And we put up that Jamel Dean tape, but then also the Sean Murphy-Bunting. I think, guys, if you haven't seen that, go check that out. Like, I am a big believer in Sean Murphy-Bunting. I think he's very cerebral. I think he's literally scratching the surface of what he can be. Because he can not just nickel, corner, can play outside, can blitz, can do it all. I mean, I'll let you speak your volumes about him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, SMB, I have full confidence in that he's going to be a constant playmaker for us, especially going into the future. He's just so smart, and he understands, we talked about it. He understands assignments. He understands what the offense is already doing. He's there before the play happens, and that's what makes a good defender. If he can just play fast and he doesn't have to guess or react late, I mean, he's already ahead of the curve. So, yeah, I have nothing but good things about him, and can't wait to see him put into action. I think year 2, I think he could even get more interceptions. I know he had 3, and they came pretty much towards the end of the season, or he came on stronger at the end of the season. And I think he's got a good opportunity to get maybe closer to 5 or 6 this year if he puts everything together, which I think he is. So, yeah, really confident about his game.
Yeah. Let's keep going on. So the last question was, are they going to actually play this season? So
that's a great question.
That is a great question. No one really knows the answer. I would hope they do. I would say they will. There would just probably won't be fans in the stands.
Right.
But that's a huge later topic. I know people were asking about the Donovan Smith thing. We're getting to it, okay? Because I have strong feelings towards that one. But let's go on. So NFL and Oakley come up with a face shield to protect players.
Okay.
So there's this little, I guess, face shield mask to go along with the visor and the helmet. I'm going to say this right now. To me, football and hockey are probably 2 of the most protected sports. Yes, they're physical. But you're wearing so much crap. You have a helmet. You have a face shield. You have a mask over your mouth now.
Right.
You wear gloves. You wear knee pads. You have long pants, long socks, shoes. Hell, make them all wear long sleeve shirts, compression sleeves. Not one piece of your body will be shown. Unless someone grabs you by the neck. Again, that's wearing gloves. Don't spit. Tell them not to spit. There you go. Right. Spitting's illegal. You get a fine if it happens. But what do you think of the mask? I have so much heartfelt about that Donovan Smith thing, but go ahead, Plus. What do you think of the mask?
No, I mean, when I look at it, I think everyone should at least have a visor. Obviously, protect your eyes. I think, when you talk about a virus, I mean, the most acceptable places, I mean, I think in the eyes, because, I mean, that's where you can get, you can get contacted from there. So as long as you have advisor. I think the mask over the mouth, obviously, and having your nose covered, I think is wise. So I think that's a good idea by them. But again, I agree with you. I think NHL and NFL are well protected as far as the players go. I can understand the concerns coming from the NBA players, because
Oh,
you're just
hell yeah.
playing in a jersey and shorts, and your face is exposed. So I understand that. But again, I think the NFL is going to take the precautions that they need to take. I know they've been discussing about potentially having fans sign a waiver, and potentially having a certain amount of fans in the stands. I know the Ravens were talking about I think it was like 13% or something like that of capacity. That way they can spread the fans out and have social distancing. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Again, I think there will be a season, but I agree with Mark. I think ultimately I don't think they'll have fans at the games, and they'll kind of play it like you see Korean baseball right now, and you see soccer being played and stuff like that. So I think that's where they'll probably lean towards. But again, they're going to do everything they can to protect their players because that's the moneymaker.
Yeah.
Obviously, they want to have fans be watching the games as well because they make a lot of money off of TV revenue and et cetera and for tickets. So obviously they want people in the game, in the fans, the fans to attend, but they got to do what's best to continue to have a season. So
I know you said the fans may have to sign a waiver. John Doe is asking, do players have to sign a waiver to play?
that's a good question. I think that's something that's probably being discussed right now as far as, the NFLPA and the NFL as well. So that's probably what they're working on as far as, how is this all going to play out? How is the testing going to play out throughout the week, et cetera. So I'm sure they're working on it. Again, we don't really have a definite answer right now. No one does. So, but yeah, I think that's something that they'll consider for sure.
All right, so, I mean, I'll talk more about this when we talk about Donovan Smith.
Yeah.
To me, NBA is a very big concern. If NBA can return and play, I don't see why any other sport can't play. I don't see why fans should even be in the stands. I know I want to be in there, but to be honest, people are dumb. People are going to just throw in there, especially if you start drinking, high-fiving, jump on each other. I don't care if you're 13 rows below me. I'm going to run down there and give you a high five, especially if Mike Evans just catches a touchdown, throws spikes in someone's face. I mean, it's stuff where you just get hyped up. I mean,
yeah, it's natural.
That gives me more of a running room to get up in there and just do something stupid. But I mean, it's the excitement of the game. Yes, do that in your own house where it can be comfortable. You're being safe for your own selves and you're being safe for the players on the field.
Right, exactly.
And baseball, yes, they have that fan noise. Someone put in there. Yeah, the Panthers have been putting fake fan noise in for the speakers for years. I mean, just stuff like that. But hey, Smith will refuse to sign when he gets the bridge. Okay, well, you know what? We're talking about Smith. Let's go over to Smith. All right, guys. If you haven't really read this yet, I'll kind of bring it up here. I'll skim it because it's actually a long read. But pretty much Donovan Smith is talking about the virus and how he doesn't feel comfortable playing in the 2020 season. He's pretty much saying here, 2020 NFL season, fast approaching, many thoughts and questions roam my mind, as I'm sure does for my fellow co-workers, pretty much every NFL player, about the virus that's coming out. He says that the pandemic has put a halt to a lot of things, but football is not one of them. Okay, we keep going. To continue discussing the many unknowns, do not give me the comfort. Risking my health as well as my family's health does not seem like a risk worth taking. My first child is due in 3 weeks. I can't help but think about how will I be able to go to work and take proper precautions around 80 plus people every day. Again, 80 plus people every day to go home to my newborn daughter. How can a sport that requires physical contact in every snap and transferal of all types of bodily fluid every single play practice safe social distancing? How can I make sure that I don't bring COVID back to my household? Can we get tested every day? Yes. But if it takes 24 hours to get results, how can I know each day that I'm safe? Blah, blah, blah. Reoccurring issue, how? There are too many hows. Safety of not only myself, but only my family. Keeps going. Says, now to hear that 35% of my paycheck may be withheld. Sorry if I'm talking too much, guys, but I just want to get all this out. Withheld while we are out sacrificing our health and wellness for the joy and entertainment of everyone else who will be safe at home in front of their TVs. Something isn't right here. That should be at least warrant a pay raise due to the risk, not a cut. I'm not lab rat or guinea pig test theories, or I'm a man, son, brother, soon to be father, and I deserve to be safe at work. Plus, I will let you take this first. I have a lot of points about it, but I'll let you take it, and I'll be as respectful and calm as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, I mean, he's going to be having every resource at his disposal. They're going to make sure that these guys are tested weekly. They're going to, do everything they can to protect their players. I'm talking about the NFL, that is, to ensure that, right, yeah, to ensure that, they're taking the safe precautions that are needed. Practices are going to be different in how they're operated. Same thing as far as games. So, they're going to try to limit any type of risk in any way they can. And they obviously have the resources to do so, because these guys are getting paid millions of dollars and there's a lot of money involved. But I mean, I understand what he's trying to bring up, but at the same time, I don't really agree with it, because, everyone else is, putting their lives on the line as well, as far as whatever job they be doing, whether it be healthcare, obviously, I think is, the biggest. Then you look at, people that have to, go out there and talk with customers or what have you. And so there's a lot of concerns around everywhere and for everyone. And I mean, I'll leave it at that. But I think I don't really agree with what, at that, especially the end part, trying to get a pay raise and all that, where, I mean, you've got people out there who have lost jobs, due to this. People can't work now because their job just doesn't allow it. So there's a lot of things that, I don't think he should be bringing up. And it looks more like complaining to me than actual saying, trying how to fix, the issue at hand.
All right. So I am an essential worker. I work in healthcare. So I can understand his concerns, especially with his newborn daughter that's going to be here in 3 weeks. I have an 8-year-old daughter who I'm very concerned about bringing into my household and getting her sick, getting my wife sick, who as well is pregnant with going to be my newborn son. So I have major risks and things that I don't want to give to my family. But guess what? I'm a healthcare worker. I'm an essential worker. I have to be altruistic. I have to be there for everyone else. And not only care about my family, my health, I have to care about the people that I care for, who can range from 10, 15, 20, all the way up to 80, 90 years old. And there's open wounds everywhere I go. I have to touch people every hour of the day. I'm in a room for 8 hours a day with 10, 12, 15 other coworkers, not to mention 100 patients coming in. So you're telling me you work 1 day a week. Okay, you practice. They're probably going to say there's no contact in practice. You're going to tell me in a sport where you wear that many pads, you're probably going to make you wear long sleeve, like I was mentioning earlier, that you're going to think that the NFL isn't going to have your back, and then you want a pay raise, even though they're probably going to have to limit the amount of payers who are your fans that come in, me, plus you guys in the chat, to come pay to see you for entertainment. When, they can see it from TV. A lot of people do. A lot of Rays fans do too. But the thing is, you're a show. You work 1 damn day a week. You're probably going to get tested on a Friday, get quarantined from Friday after that test, not go anywhere Saturday. If it's on you, it's on you. You're the idiot going 20, 30-year-old going to go drinking. It's on you. If you get tested positive on Sunday, you don't play. And if you go out and you pass curfew, your team should say, nope, you ain't playing. It should be that hardcore. But to me, some of it I agree with. I mean, I'm concerned as well. I mean, this may be a new father feeling, but I've defended Donovan Smith so many times saying he's a good enough left tackle. To me, this whining saying at least warrant a pay raise. If I, as an essential worker, I should at least warrant a pay raise for having to clean up after every patient I see. Clean their table, clean the weights they use, take off my gloves, clean everything that they've even come in contact with and I've come in contact with. I'm sorry to go on rants, but to me it's like, this is a rant from him. And he was kind of upset that he's getting a backlash as well. It's because you're in $1 billion bubble. We are the common people that work every damn day. If we went inside and said, I should get a pay raise, I'd get fired. Plain and simple. I'm sorry if I'm going on a tangent, but to me, I agree with some points. Some points, listen, it's your job regardless. If you don't want to play, fine, then don't go. If they don't, if your job isn't there when you get back, I'm sorry. You chose not to play. But for us that literally have to go to work to afford our house food, I have to go on that rant. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I understand where you're coming from, and I'm in the same boat. I'm an essential worker as well. I don't see as many people as you do per day, but again, I go out on visits and I meet with customers at their homes. So, I understand it. We have to take precaution. We wear masks and et cetera. Make sure we're, being safe. But yeah, I mean, it's a concern for everyone in this world right now. I mean, this is something we just haven't seen before. This is a virus that, is pretty much out there, and now they're, saying it's possibly airborne, which it probably is. And so, I mean, it's tough right now for everyone. So yeah, I didn't like how the tone was set, in that message. I think it could have been presented a little bit better, obviously, and how he said it. But yeah, I don't agree with, as far as the pay raise and stuff like that. And it just looks like he's complaining, like you said. And I don't think he has the right to do that right now. I don't think it's the right time. It's not the right time.
Maybe he meant it as in, yeah, he's just concerned. I mean, so am I. I go to work and I'm like, damn, I take off everything in the garage and I'm like, okay, I'm going in. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's his mindset too. Right. But like, he's got to see his mindset, how much they're going to protect him. My job don't protect me.
No.
They have a thermometer at the front where they check someone coming in and then just go in.
Yeah. No, you're another number. That's all it is. It's true.
So I mean, the NFL was covering you. Okay, let's be honest. You've been covered ever since college. I mean, if you mess something up in college, I mean, look at Jameis. Look at a lot of people in college. Look at Aaron Hernandez's story. I mean, it's just a lot of people get covered up until they just mess up. Right. So I mean, I don't get that. So it's just, I see both sides. But when I read this immediately, I was like, dude. And then you're saying at least warrant pay raise. Jeez, come on. Give me a quarter of your paycheck. I'll be glad and happy. But hey, people, bye Smith, truth, say that and you're getting fired. Yeah. Thanks for the dedication, brother. Thank you for that, actually. Buck the world, thank you. You should get hazard pay though, bro, working as an essential worker. Well, I mean, I haven't got anything yet. and they've actually, I'll leave work out of this.
yeah, exactly.
Works at left tackle and Haig at right tackle. I mean, it honestly may be Haig at right tackle based on Wirfs not being able to get up to speed. I think Donovan Smith, if he doesn't play, maybe it does turn into that. But I hope to God. To be honest, Donovan Smith is a good enough left tackle, guys. I know I just ranted bad about him, but he, for his position he plays, is good enough. Okay? Right. Don't hate on him that much, even though because I don't agree with some of his points. I do understand the concern. It's just don't go about it that way. That got me a little heated. I went even more calm in this than I did with other people. So
even before the air started. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, hey, well, actually, you know what? Don't let me talk about it. Let me talk to someone else. So this is Jay Williams, NBA former player, got hurt in that accident. Duke player. I hope y'all remember this guy. I hope you're of age to know. Check what he's saying.
We're talking all sports today.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this is sports related. He's saying about this pandemic and how the NBA players are talking about it. This is kind of what I thought Smith was thinking. So take a listen.
NBA players cannot be tone deaf. My NBA brothers, you cannot be tone deaf right now in this current environment. We all know the life that NBA players live. you are blessed. You get a chance to be in private planes. You get a chance to have millions of dollars in your bank account. You live a different level of life. But that is drastically different than what real, everyday working Americans are going through right now. Now, you're in a billion-dollar bubble. If you want to complain about the anxieties you have from COVID-related issues, I get it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I agree with, you have issues, we're all human. Just because you're an NFL player does not mean you're something superior to everyone. I mean, you have emotions, you have thoughts, concerns, you have a kid coming out. I agree with you, my man. I mean, but it's just realize that you're going to be protected. But let's keep going, Jay.
Complain about that. We all have the right to complain about that. But when I hear NBA guys complaining about living facilities, food that they have being delivered to them, it is tone deaf. It is tone deaf. I want you to think about people who are everyday working people who are making minimum wage, trying to make ends meet, that are going to factories, that are going to really harsh working environments, where if anything, maybe their employers are doing less to ensure their safety because they're trying to increase the bottom line. They're trying to earn and make money back from all the money that they lost through the times that a lot of these states, individually governed, have been dealing with this issue. So when I see guys that are going into a billion-dollar bubble, a billion-dollar bubble, and are getting food delivered to them.
I mean, I won't let it keep dragging on, but it's just more, he's saying, yeah, like, stop looking at just yourself and your situation. Understand that you're probably going to get your butt wiped for you. No one else really is. And I'm in that situation, you're in that situation. Plenty other millions of people in the U.S. are in that situation. Some people don't even still have a job. And you're worried about getting a pay raise when you do have a job and now you have a choice to work or not. Some people didn't have a choice. They just got fired. They got laid off. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just in this situation where there's so many millions of people unemployed, and you're saying, oh, well, maybe I'll play, maybe I won't. And you're still going to protect me every which way possible. Mm-hmm. I mean, I understand the concerns. I understand people are saying, yeah, like his head isn't in it. Smith was tone deaf. Seems to be the norm with these athletes with their money. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's your choice whether you want to play or not. It's my choice whether I want to go to work or not. But they're literally in a way more comfortable position than I am. I can't do that. If I do that, oops.
Yeah, I mean, you have to try to get unemployment right now, which is just. It's a ridiculous process. Yeah, it's a ridiculous process. It's as high as it's ever been, so yeah, it's just, there's a lot of things that have happened because of COVID. So yeah, we definitely need to be aware of everything that's going on, because everyone is dealing with some type of, this has affected everyone, it's not just these players that are in these leagues and, wanting to decide if to play or not.
I don't know if I went in a big rant, guys. I don't know if you agree or don't agree, but that's just my opinion. Again, y'all can have any opinion. That's why we have this show, channel. It's pretty much
real Bucs talk.
It's real from our own opinions, okay? Yeah. It's our point of views, and we like to hear your point of views. We like to see if we're wrong. If we're wrong, I want to hear it and understand what am I not looking at? Where am I not seeing it? What angle am I not looking at? Same thing when we look at plays and do these film breakdowns. Yep. Am I looking solely on, this player's so damn great? Or is the team he's playing terrible? Or is the blocking he's getting amazing? Or the receiver he's throwing to that damn good? I mean, there's so many angles you got to look at. Or did someone just mess up on the defense? Or someone mess up blocking that made it look bad? There's so many angles in life, in football, and anything. So that's why we like to talk with you guys and understand how you like it. I mean, how you like to view things to see if we're seeing things wrong. Buck the World says, I'll play left tackle and you can go ahead and take 35% of these times. Go Bucs.
That's
You're the man. Let's see. So Kevin Stewart. So I kind of asked out there, anyone else have any other questions before we head out? Mm-hmm. Kevin Stewart said, which group excites you more? Linebacker group or defensive end group?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I would say, man, that is a good question because I'm looking at it. there's a lot of potential in the defensive end room. I'll say that because there's some guys that we just don't know enough about yet. I know you talked about Cousin Daniels and Quentin Bell. Obviously Anthony Nelson. How far is he going to take his game to another level? I think William Golston. Again, I'm excited to see him, get more snaps. So yeah, that's an interesting room. But as far as excitement goes, I guess I have to go back to linebacker because that's really exciting because you have Devin White and Levante David, who's probably one of the best linebacking duos in the league, I would say. And then obviously if you add in JPP and Shaq Barrett as linebackers, then that's a really good room. But yeah, I mean, I'll let you take it. I think both have their ways about it, but I think excitement linebacker.
I'll agree based off of linebacker group. You know what you're going to have, and Devin White, if he gets any better, holy hell.
Yeah, he was already pretty good last year.
Yeah, and if that was his first year, and he gets his smarts to go along with the athleticism, look out NFL. I mean, people are going to be hurt. I'm just saying. I mean, it's just loaded. I mean, if Jack Setchy stays healthy, if we get anything else like that, that's just a good group. Defensive end, like you mentioned earlier as well, like I mentioned it, Cousin Daniels and Quentin Bell, if they actually become something, I mean, they're both really fast speed rushers. I think Quentin Bell was looking up. He ran, I think, a 4.38 40-yard dash. He's
fast.
At 6'4", 250 pounds.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's just straight line. Let's see if he can learn how to edge rush. He was a former wide receiver turned edge rusher. I mean, that's scary. Think about that. I mean, he was drafted by the Raiders last year, cut, and then we picked him up, put him on our practice squad. But the dude's a physical freak.
Yeah.
I mean, nasty. So if that'll be a fun, if there is a camp to see battle between Cousin Daniels, who it's quiet right now, but I think that dude, the way he played in preseason and just the way we saw him in training camp, he looked natural. He just looked like he needed to put on weight. But he could drop back in coverage. He could rush. He had a spin move. He looked elusive, like dipping under linemen. So I mean, I think it has potential to be exciting, but the linebacker group is the most exciting.
Yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Kevin.
Well talked out, I guess. Let's keep going on. John Doe says, "What teams you guys think beat us in regular season?"
What teams beat us in regular season? Oh man. Well, obviously it's only gonna be like 4 or 5. So, I would say probably the Saints. Obviously is one.
At least one.
I would say Kansas City's gonna be tough. I think. Trying to think of the schedule.
I'm trying to bring up the actual in a row. But of course, here we go. Yeah. Okay. It's going to be.
I would say Kansas City, New Orleans right now.
New Orleans, Panthers, Broncos. So I would say. Go ahead.
Yeah, looking at it, I think the Broncos could be, just a game that can catch us by surprise. So that's 3. I would say Atlanta could be potentially 1. And then maybe maybe the Raiders. It's just I think I mentioned that in our season prediction show, but I would definitely recommend checking that out. But yeah, I'd say the teams I mentioned is definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think the floor is 10-6, but I think we're more likely 11-5. 12-4. I mean, just there's a section in here where it should be we get a couple of wins in a row.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
But still, like there could be times where we mess up, but I don't think Brady will allow that. I'll just be honest, flat out.
Yeah.
He won't allow it. I mean, games like the Giants, we got to win. Panthers, both games should be immediately win. And like even if you haven't seen Tom vs. Time. That dude will mention, he's like, this is a win. These 3 should be wins. So we should be 6-0 by the bye. Yeah. And it's like, because he really knows, like, hey, if I get in these guys, we're going to win this damn game. There shouldn't be an if. We're that damn good. If I'm that good at making decisions, we should win. And he's right. He ain't wrong. I'll say that. You know what? To be honest, let me see if I can find that. Well, after you answer this question.
Okay.
Guys, what do you think about Winfield Jr. and Whitehead flying around? They both are hammerheads.
Yeah, I'm excited about the safety group, and we did a couple breakdowns. I think we have. I'm not sure if it's up yet. I know we have Mike Edwards coming up on the way. But yeah, Jordan Whitehead we did over the weekend. Really excited about that video that we put out. I think he's just really good. Again, he could be the guy that I think Mark's mentioned this, but he could be the guy that's left out. After it's all said and done. I think Mike Edwards and Winfield are potentially your future. At the safety spots, but I really like Winfield. I think he's gonna be a really nice player, and him and whether it's him and Whitehead, I think that's a good combo, or if it's him and Mike Edwards, who knows, So I think we're in a good spot either way. Really excited about the group because they just play fast, and like you said, they are hammerheads and they go after it.
Yeah, I mean, so I say Whitehead down the road probably won't be here long term based on. I love the player. I've loved him since Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a downhill player, like strong safety in the box, dude. How long can that last with that smaller body? I don't know, but you never know. He may get better with his deep zone coverage. You never know. But
right.
If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. I mean, a lot of the things you didn't see any interceptions. He had one off of a tipped Shaq Barrett pass, so he just doesn't kind of read, I guess, as well as you should. He dropped one interception, so he could have had probably two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Winfield seems like the more of the playmaker, ball hawk kind of safety we've been missing. That's why same thing with Whitehead. Or, Edwards. Forgive me. Mike Edwards. There's so many similar names.
Yeah.
Which is coming out soon. Yeah, guys are in the chat. You're looking for Devin White. He's probably coming Saturday. Wednesday is coming someone. Saturday will probably be Devin White. Just stay calm. But, yeah, I mean, I think long term, it's Edwards and Winfield, Whitehead in rotation. But let's look at something I wanted to talk about. The top quarterbacks in Madden NFL. When was the last time we had a 90 overall quarterback? Tom Brady, top 5.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Did you know that? Would you like to know more?
I didn't know they had this already.
Yeah.
I guess Madden's right around the corner. I forget it's almost August, so.
It came out today, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, he's number 5. Breeze 93, 94. Lamar Jackson 97, 99. Jeez.
Of course.
But I mean,
I think that's a pretty good list. I would say it's a good top 10. Trying to see if anyone got left out that I'm trying to miss here.
Think about this. You got 3 of the 4 NFC South quarterbacks in the top 7.
Right. Yeah, I wonder what Cam Newton's rating is. I'm sure it's not much lower than 84 overall.
One thing I thought was crazy, they had Cam Newton's passer arm strength at 93. It was like the top 5 of quarterbacks.
Oh, wow.
I was like, did they not watch him throw?
Yeah, because his arm strength's getting weaker and weaker every year.
Yeah, if it's within 10 yards, he's got a little quick dart, but like...
Right. Yeah, down the field it's getting weaker.
I mean, I remember the game we played against him not so long ago. They took him out on a downfield pass.
Right. Doesn't have an arm strength.
Some no name. They're like, oh, we're going to throw the ball. Maybe they're foreseeing his rotator cuff repair healing 100% and he's back to normal. Maybe he took what Ray Lewis took before going to the Super Bowl. But I thought that was kind of cool to see Tom Brady, Buccaneer, top 5 quarterback, cool. 90 overall. Awesome.
Yeah, I wonder what Gronk's rating is. I'm sure it's up there too. Probably pretty high. So probably going to have a couple 90s on our team, with him and Mike Evans, obviously, Then you have, Levante, I'm sure, will be a 90. I hope, at least.
Or he's going to be after this year.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. People saying so Whitehead is basically another linebacker. Close to it. A small linebacker, but he can also cover.
Yeah, he's that typical box safety, but he's also versatile to play in man coverage. I think that's where his strength is, cover the tight ends and stuff like that. And like Mark said, I think he'll eventually be that rotational piece because we do use 3 safeties a lot. and that's where the versatility comes in. You rotate one of those guys into the nickel position, and you can do a lot of different things with our safety. So yeah, I think it's going to be good. And Winfield, Edwards, they all can do the same thing. That's what makes them really dangerous, because Edwards can play deep, he can play up close. Winfield, he can do the same thing. So it's a lot of good positioning that you can mess with as far as your defense.
I mean, and that's the good thing. We can be very multiple with our safeties.
Yeah.
Because someone said, Edwards starts over Whitehead game 1, or eventually. I don't see that. I think Whitehead really is pretty dang good. I'm not ever gonna. I'll have Whitehead's corner until someone beats him out.
Mm-hmm.
But just overall, he's a smart player. He's just not great in deep coverage. And if our pass rush is that good, he doesn't need to be good in deep coverage. Let Winfield do it. And someone said, didn't Winfield have 7 interceptions at Minnesota? Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He did. So Cal E says, I'm just joining the live stream now. Did you guys go over the matchup against Denver? He believes that they could have a playoff push, and he thinks he's concerned about their D-line versus our O-line.
Oh, yeah, talking about Denver. Yeah, that's one of the games, I'm kind of worried about. It's just
week 3.
It's that week 3, and you're going up there in an environment that this team really hasn't been around. I know Tom Brady has struggled with them in the past, so yeah, I mean it's a little concerning, that matchup, and I think that's one where we have to be careful of. But like you said, Tom is going to make sure everyone's focused week in, week out, so that should help us with those supposed surprise games that could catch us off guard. But yeah, I think it's a good matchup. Obviously their D line is really good. That's going to be the test for our offensive line.
Bradley Chubb coming back, Von Miller.
Right.
They signed Giannis or whatever. Didn't they sign him or no? Or they lost him?
Who are you talking about?
They still got Shelby Miller. I mean, their D line is just nasty overall.
Yeah, they have a lot of good players. Yeah. Yep, on defense.
Well, I mean, I still think good decision maker, great decision maker. Forgive me. And Tom Brady, you have to expect he's going to get us in position to at least be there to win. That's the biggest issue. Not putting us in a giant hole. It's more keeping us in the game where our depth can really show, where our defense can help us win games again. Yeah. Way back when in the 90s, guys. Way back when. But let's get hard to breathe in Mile High. What about Justin Evans? Could he be a wild card in the safety room? I'll let you take that. But I mean, we've been talking about that. We just don't know. Yeah,
I mean, there just hasn't been much news on Justin Evans. We don't know if he's ever going to be coming back to the one the player, the type of player that he was before the injuries, and he's just had constant foot issues, and we just don't know as far as his return. Obviously, if he does come back, that's great. But again, I don't think they're counting on it as far as a team, perspective goes.
Yeah, all I see is the same stuff you see. His Instagram stuff, like him singing, I guess. I mean, if you're a true Buck fan, you're just obsessed with it, and you're watching all these players, and I just see him randomly singing, I guess. He doesn't look bad, but then again, you don't see him practicing. You don't see him in pads. You don't see him running drills or anything. So how bad is that injury? It's his foot, right? Foot, ankle. You don't know what it is, really. They don't even tell you what it is. So
yeah,
I don't know. So we're on the same ball game or court as you are. So we don't really know anything. I mean, no one even knows that there's a season, right? So I mean, other than that, let's see. Godwin should be close. No, other than that, guys, Chargers could be a close sleeper team also. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. But any other points you want to talk about, Plus?
No, I think we covered what we want to talk about. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us in the chat. Thank you for being a subscriber. If you haven't already, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as you see on the screen there. We appreciate everything you guys have done for us. Again, this channel is growing rapidly, and we're just very excited about the future and what is to come. Again, we have some other things that we're working on as well to expand, but that will come at a later date. But just very excited, and thank you guys again.
Again, sorry for the mishap of the audio in the beginning. Other than that, guys, go Bucs, and have a good night.